want, what you really, really want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Tell me what you want, what you really want. Tell me what you want. I wanna really, really, really wanna see. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy. That's the way it is.
Hey everybody, it's top of the hour. Suzette Veneti Show will be beginning soon. So why not grab a snack, get something to drink, share the link out with your friends that aren't already in the stream. The Suzette Veneti Show will begin in about 3 minutes.
Share the link like you shared kisses in junior high.
If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta slam. If you wanna be my lover, slam your body down and wind it all around. Slam your body down and wind it all around. If you wanna be my lover.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost.
Here we come, like. Okay, cool. Thanks.
I tried carrying the weight of the world.
Welcome to the virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Suzette Veneti Show. It's September 6th. We're still in a pandemic, and it's guess what? It's 5:03. When you're good at something, you're good at something, guys. Oh, my God, we're good at being here at 5:03. That's Jesse and me. We'll do it for you anytime at 5:03. Speaking of Jesse, congrats, Jesse, on being a hometown pandemic hero.
Oh, well, thanks.
And you guys can check that out in the Sacramento News and Review. There's a virtual copy, or you can get a paper copy. I think they're still doing that. If not, just go check it out virtually. Sac News and Review, Hometown Heroes. Jesse Jones, that runs Stab Theater. And so that's really cool, because I'm grateful that he lets me do this show, and we bring it to you. Speaking of the show, let's get going with the show. You notice the Chromebook. It's the old one. She's still plugging, but she needs to be changed. So I'm still working on that. It was a charger problem. Sometimes we all just need a new plug to go on our port. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, U.S. drug makers have issued a pledge to make a safe vaccine. Wait, what? A safe vaccine? You're promising a safe vaccine? It should be safe. I don't know, by default. How about pledging a free vaccine? There's an idea. Locally here in Sacramento, thousands turned out to support Trump in car rallies and boat rallies. To kick off Labor Day, it would actually be called the flotilla, but I don't think the Trump supporters know the word flotilla. Anyway, to kick off Labor Day weekend, a caravan of cars drove from Rockland to the Capitol with Trump bumpers, banners, and posters. The crowd congregated on the Capitol steps and to cheer each other on as more people walked up. They cheered maniacally with their racist beliefs, and eventually they made their way to the 10 blocks west to the river, where they cheered on a flotilla, that's what it's called, of boats. Maybe flotilla. I don't know. I read it. No one taught me how to pronounce it. Also adorned with posters and banners and signs of Trump and paraphernalia of Trump. So, Paul Revere. 1 if by land, caravan. 2 if by sea, flotilla. What if it's both? The redcoats are coming. Help me out, man. The world's loneliest elephant, Kavan, that's Kaavan, so I'm just going to say Kavan, who lived in a Pakistani zoo, lost his partner in 2012, and he's been medically cleared to travel, most likely to Cambodia, because he's been lonely and without a partner for 8 years. Tell me about it, Kevin. Tell me about it. Same boat. No one's helping me out. Anyway, Kavan has been cleared for travel on Friday. And that he underwent a medical examination, and he's really big and lonely, and gonna go somewhere where hopefully he can meet a mate. And honestly, if I hadn't said elephant, Caravan could have been an incel that I was talking about. But really, this is hopeful for Caravan, who has languished in the zoo for more than 35 years and has exhibited signs of being overly bored. Same boat. Need someone to love me. Send me somewhere where I'll get love. Everyone has covered or spoofed WAP, now including Gilbert Gottfried, which I'm not going to make a joke. I'm just going to let you decide. Do you want to hear Gilbert Gottfried sing WAP? You make that choice, because you have to live with it. Either way. 52% of young adults are living with their parents, and that's the highest since the Great Depression. In related news, Mom, Daddy, rent's really expensive and the pandemic's still going, so I'm probably going to come home for just a couple months. So it's just me and a black pug and 25 gowns and 47 pairs of sticks-inch stilettos and a broken hairbrush. So we won't take up much space. The moon is rusting. Scientists have found that the moon is accumulating rust, specifically on the side that faces the Earth. It seems that the Earth's magnetic tail creates a field that the moon must travel through for 9 days, and there are particles in this field that create rust on the moon. Moon, girl, what you doing up there getting all rusty and dusty from some nasty asteroid tail? Don't be all rusty and dusty. Get whatever you need, even if it is a nasty asteroid. On Dancing with the Stars, Carol Baskin will be joining the competition. I'm not going to make an Eye of the Tiger reference here or joke, but I will say that Carol Baskin is only the second suspected murderer to join the show after Ray Lewis. Suspected murderers on Dancing with the Stars are 0 for 1, so she could make history here. Your thoughts? You thought the Quick Step was dead? Carol Baskin will be the killer of the Quick Step now. I mean, the judge of it, the executioner of it, I don't know how to... Hi. Joining her on this season will be Nelly, who will undoubtedly shake his tail feather. Backstreet Boys heartthrob A.J. McLean and regular heartthrob, non-Backstreet Boys version, Jesse Metcalfe will also join the show. The show will have heavy quarantine procedures. Like instead of an Argentinian tango, they're going to put one partner in Argentina and the other partner in Los Angeles, and they have to tango from that far apart. All that for that joke. Also, Tyra Banks is taking over the hosting duties, so expect some smizing. Kanye West spent $6 million on his presidential bid, or, in his terms, 4 pairs of Yeezys. Boats participating in a boat parade in Texas, similar to the one in Sacramento, a flotilla. Boats in Texas that were participating in a flotilla sunk. Multiple boats. This was a Trump supporting flotilla. Multiple boats in Lake Travis, which is northwest of Austin, made distress calls for sinking. Here's hoping that's a metaphor. Cardi B wishes that she could perform WAP for larger crowds at festivals. The rapper said that she misses performing for large crowds and can't wait to get back to it. Officials at SeaWorld have been consulted about a splash zone for when this happens. It's a lot of WAP. Anyhow, we're going to go right to a contributor here. One of my favorite people. I always say it, but it's always true. I am so glad that he does this show, and I'm very lucky. And you guys are too, because you get to see him every week. So please send some virtual coin. His information is going to be below. And check out his online show on YouTube, which is a longer version of this segment. It's called In the Meantime. Bees and Booze, give it up for Mean Dave.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I've been better. In case you can't tell from the dark circles under my eyes, I haven't been to sleep that much in the last 24 hours because I wouldn't say it was a mistake. I went to a midnight AA meeting, and we have one of the few in-person places where we have recovery meetings. I'm pretty open about my recovery, people, so my name's Dave. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict and yada yada. And as sometimes happens in recovery, especially at midnight meetings, we hang out and we bullshit afterwards. Even had a guy who was he's been relapsing chronically, and we were hanging out with him for about an hour or so, trying to talk sense to him. And I drank a lot of coffee. Got home a little after 4 a.m. and then realized I'm not going to sleep. And you try whatever. I rarely do this, but I took a Benadryl because sometimes that makes me drowsy. I think I might have nodded off here or there or whatever. So I'm in that loopy space of it's the closest I feel like I've, after like being in a bender for a while. So I'm just saying, if I look a little haggard, also it's 100 fucking degrees today, or more, depending on where you're at. You're in I know you're probably in 110 out there. Speaking of which, since, this is a Sacramento, based operation. The most recent In the Meantime with Mean Dave episode is with Sacramento resident or Carmichael resident Gail Jones, which is it's a wonderful episode. Been getting a lot of positive feedback on it. So if you haven't checked it out, you need an excuse to check out my YouTube show. Check out the most recent one. It's a nice hour-long conversation with Gail Jones, primarily to have a time capsule piece with somebody who I've always found very interesting. And plus she lives in an assisted living facility, and obviously with COVID times isn't able to get out and do comedy. And I just crossed paths with her at an open mic that she was hanging out at on Zoom, and I remember I think I might have only done one show with her, but she made quite an impression on me, and then we've stayed in touch online throughout the years. And it was just great to have a conversation with her and learn about her history and stuff. And as she puts it, all before she's dead. Because that's the other thing. There's been a few things that's been on my mind lately, and it's when you're in this kind of state of mind, this is a good show to talk about this because this is something that's relative, I think, to a lot of the community that's on here, and it's a good place where not many people will see this. No offense there, Suzette, but we got kind of small viewership. So I might hear from Robert Bess about this or something else like that. But and this is kind of a serious subject, but it's something that's very relevant, and it's something that I've never experienced before. Comedy's brought me into a community of diversity more than I've ever been in before. More so, and I played in punk bands, metal bands that kind of had a lot of diversity and whatever. It wasn't really that conscious, but it was there. Ran across, one of my best friends growing up in high school, he came out as gay in our town of Newark. At our high school, where he was one of the few people that came out. Like, there were people that we knew were probably gay, but they didn't, they weren't like fully out. He was one of the first that was fully out, and and I was one of the first people he told early on, and I just remember the time and where we're at and all that, because we had, the 90s was a fairly kind of overall homophobic kind of vibe amongst men. It was really tiresome. But, so as far as like growing up and all the kind of, diversity has always been something that's never really been that conscious to me, because it's always just been kind of like, yeah, it's there. But now with today's, with a lot of today's youth and a lot of that, it's been a lot more of a conscious discussion. There's been a lot more talk, a lot more trying to undo old behavior, trying to learn new things, and you get a lot of pushback from it, but it opens up things in such a way where, yeah, it's important for us to learn about each other and communicate. And so one of the worlds that I've crossed paths with, thanks to comedy, has been the world of trans people. And I've never understood really too much of a lot of the issues and surrounding debates around gender. I see people throwing these new words and new things at me, and I gotta like Google them. That's basically it. And then learning what cis means and just a bunch of new shit. I'm 43, and I just, all it does is make me feel old. I'm not somebody that likes to learn new slang. I don't like doing anything new. I was an old man since birth. But one of my closest friends recently came out to me as trans, and it was I have to say it was probably one of the bravest things that I've experienced, next to my friend coming out to me when I was I think like roughly 16. And what's funny to me is it happened. They both told me in the same neighborhood when we were walking. So, the first time my friend comes out to me, okay, we're walking in this neighborhood to a house that a friend of ours lived, that's literally around the corner from where I live now. And then me and my friend were walking around this neighborhood having this discussion. And I have to say, the person's not fully out about it now. So I try to maintain anonymity, but I will say that it was very powerful, and it made me really think a lot about what they've been going through, what she's been going through for the last, I don't know. And it also kind of made, I have to say, like, based on some changes that I'm noticing, but I didn't think were anything of that nature. It all made sense, and it even goes back to like certain things that I've seen from a while ago, and I just understood. I believe I'm the first cis heterosexual male, just male in general, that she's come out to about this, and yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't know. I'm sure it'll change somewhat of the dynamic of our friendship, but not. Like I told her, I said, I'm still your best friend, and I'm here because I know it's going to be. I can't imagine. And I know that I've had this discussion with her when we were talking about other people who were trans, and so it's just really been interesting learning about it, and also find it funny. One of the people I don't need to get too graphic on things, but I have had experiences that basically it's in my world, and I don't look at this as like something that's I was really, the thing I think I was most I had to be proud of myself about was the fact that my first instinct was my friend, and I'm not sitting here in fear like it's something that reflected on me, because it reminds me of when I was a teenager. And I remember I knew what the first thing was when my friend came out. I'm like, well, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions from people when they find out as to whether or not I'm gay or whatever. And that was, again, that 90s. And I remember what I used to tell him. I said, I don't know, because I was still a virgin. I'm like, maybe I am. Who knows? And I would say that kind of jokingly, but it's really strange how much this matters to people. And I've learned over time, it's like I'm really not that concerned with a lot of it. I'm finding I'm pretty accepting of people, especially a lot through, definitely more through in recovery. I'm really just not accepting of you more if you're just an asshole, and I can be whoever, that doesn't require being any race, gender, or whatever. That just requires a shitty character. But yeah, it was just one of those things that I have to say that it's one of those things that I've seen it. I've experienced, knowing people and whatnot, but this one really hit home, and I have a lot of love for my friend, and I only hope the best for her as she continues to transition and learn, and just stay open and learn and all of that. And so hopefully, if anybody's hearing this and they like, or this helps kind of bring a little more light into what we see as like a fairly intolerant world right now. Well, it's 100 fucking degrees, and I'm not, things are gonna be okay.
Yeah,
we're just gonna burn off the planet like ants. That's all.
It is. It was 111 here today.
Good fucking God.
And I hosted two. You should come down sometime with Chelsea. In
that heat? Fuck no.
No,
I
not in this
Chelsea
heat.
Anywhere, but
not in this heat. When it gets cooler, you guys should come down and hang out at Drag Brunch. And if you want, we can do the show live.
That'd be great. Yeah, we should. Yeah, I'll see about that.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I
need sleep though.
What's that?
I'm gonna need some sleep.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, you started off talking about not sleeping. Same. When I host brunch, because I sleep like Sleeping Beauty, I don't wake up until it's been 45 years and I've been kissed. So I don't go to bed before brunch. I stay up 24 hours. So I've been up right now for 29 hours.
So you're there. You're kind
I'm
of
with
there.
you. Yeah.
Boat.
You get delirious around 32. You start to see things like you're on drugs.
No, I haven't reached a point of that before. And I've most I've really stayed up, I think, was like 48 hours, and I just get, if anything, I get really, oddly enough, I get loopy and I get goofy. Like I did a set at Punchline one time when I hadn't slept, and I was being really goofy with other comics, and I start doing what I used to do when I would get high. It's almost like getting high.
Yeah.
I would start saying what I would be a little too honest, and not have the presence of mind to like have a little more of a filter. And I had a fun set while I was there. I don't know, it wasn't exactly a crisp set, but I was being very aloof and whatnot, and I was playing it off for the audience enough to get laughs and not bomb. So that's really the main goal there.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my best sets actually at Punchline, sleep deprived. So same.
Mm-hmm. There's something to that.
Yeah, but definitely wait until it's not 111 degrees, because I will tell you, hosting a drag brunch is a joy and a delight. In 111 degrees, it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Can only imagine.
But yeah, it's fun, and I think it'd be fun to have you guys in. So we'll have to
totally
figure that out.
Yeah.
And I think, thank you for telling that story. And
thanks. No problem.
Congrats to your friends, because we have a mighty little audience, and I think this is a great place to, all you can do in life is be who you are, and I know that you are, and I try to be who I am, kind of. But Your friend is just being who they are, and
Exactly.
I think that's
That's
beautiful. You know.
what I love is that she. I said, it's gonna it's gonna be. I said, just be patient with me with the pronouns, because I've known them for a long time, but I'm practice makes perfect. So.
So she's a she now.
As far as I know, yeah.
So I will say, and this is coming from experience with friends that have transitioned and with people that we like. I know you want to, and I want to. We want to do so well with the pronouns, but sometimes we need time because we're used to one. And so
that's no first thing. I mean, she was laughing when I said that.
Please don't get mad at us, people out there, because
I was just incredibly impressed, because it was funny, because I thought it was something like comedy gossip related that she was gonna tell me, and then basically told me this what was going on and how it related to this or what we were talking about, and then said that, and I was like, oh shit, like, and and it was, and I could tell it was not easy, because also, and I'm, like I said, I'm one of her best friends, and that, again, I'm like, it made a lot of sense of a lot of things that I've known. I mean, because people, people, but we still have things that, we don't, me as an addict, alcoholic, there's things that I only kind of discuss with like my fellow addicts and alcoholics that I don't feel the need to talk with everybody about and whatnot. And so it was just, there was a lot that kind of like, this all makes sense. So
I'm really glad that she could talk to you and that she could tell you.
Exactly, and
that means so much that she has you.
I don't take a lot of pride in a lot. I mean, not that I don't. I love being me and all that, but I don't necessarily always have a lot of pride in knowing that I'm being a good friend. But this was definitely one of those things where I'm grateful to be clean and sober, and somebody who's kind of been a level of service to my friends and my family, to where I'm somebody that like can be trusted and talked to about this. And so that really made me feel good.
I would tell you if I had anything like that, definitely. I think I couldn't pick better people than, honestly, the people that do this show every week. It is a family, like Chelsea was saying a couple weeks ago.
Totally.
So.
No, and that's why I love coming here, because that's things I can, I don't feel like pressured always. It's like there's times where I feel like talking about something that's kind of funny or whatever, but then I'm like, you know what? This is something that I do want to talk about. I've talked about it at a couple meetings and whatnot, but I'm like, but this is more of a forum also that, like, I know that a lot of the audience is very LGBTQ, friendly and well, very, and also just let them know, it's like, I'm one of your classic metalhead dumbasses that, comes from all that, and that, that is, there's, the world today is just filled with a lot of, we just got a lot of negativity going on, and we have a lot of reason for it too. There's a lot of powerlessness and what's going on in the world, and so it's very difficult. But it's like, if you gotta, just like the story of my landlord finding the guy that did the hit and run. It's like we need a few happy endings lately. So,
well, I think your friend's really lucky that she has you, and we are too. So thank you so much, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As always.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Soon.
Bye, Mean Dave.
Right. Bye-bye.
All right, peers and queers, that was Mean Dave. His information was on the screen below. And as always, above me is the information for Stab Comedy Theater, which is run by local pandemic hero Jesse Jones, operating with no money coming through the door. So if you want to send some coin, I'm not Yosemite Sam. I'm just pointing at the Venmo handle. It's above me. Okay. With that, we're going to go with my interview guest. And I am so excited, as excited as I always am for Mean Dave and Chelsea. But this guy, I love him. He came up and did one of my shows last November, and I always try to book him when I can, and we haven't gotten a second chance yet, but at least he's here tonight, and hopefully one day our schedules will line up and I can get him back in person. Although right now it's not us, it's the world that needs to get its act together, because we're ready to do a
Yeah.
show live. Peers and Queers, he is a fantastic comedian and a fantastic follow, and you're going to love him as much as I do. Give it up for Chaz Carter.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm actually good. I think I just say I'm good because it's like my default because of the pandemic. So I would say I'm fine.
I try to give honest answers. I actually am good today, if not a bit tired. But good, and it's okay not to be. I think that's something I want to tell the audience. It's okay not to be good. You can say you're fine.
Yeah.
You can say, meh,
Yeah. It is currently 1,000 degrees in LA. It's very, very hot. And I think this is honestly, in all the years I've lived here, this is the hottest it's ever felt to me. Like it definitely feels like hell outside, or like what I imagine.
Where are you from originally?
Florida, which is surprising. I'm from somewhere that's very humid and very I don't know. I guess I just wasn't. I don't know if I was just mentally prepared for this kind of heat in the pandemic. That was.
Yeah. On top of everything, we have fires and now we got heat.
Yeah.
Do you prefer like a 90-degree, 100% humidity day over a 110-degree day?
I would say I would choose the one with humidity only because humidity is really good for your skin.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
I don't get. People tell me I look 24 all the time, and I'm like, yes. And if I was in humidity, I would look 18 still.
Yeah. Humidity is really, really good for the skin. It definitely opens the pores. So I feel like if I'm gonna sweat and be uncomfortable, I might as well do it where it's gonna benefit my.
You know why I like it? I like it because I go upstairs pretty quick, and then I have a sweaty back, and then people look at me like, why do you have a sweaty back? But in humidity, we all have sweaty backs. It's the great equalizer.
Yeah, I think that's what's so special about very humid weather is that it's very inclusive weather. Like everybody gets sweaty cracks. Like no one is off limits. The rich and the poor.
Yep, we're all showering 4 times that day.
Yeah. I definitely don't miss that. Oh God. Going home in Florida.
What have you been up to during the pandemic?
Mainly just working a small day job and writing, really, and doing a couple of like random Zoom shows from time to time, but that's pretty far in between. Just because like I've just been trying to like focus on getting through the year, so I feel like I'm not pressed to be on a form of stage at the moment. So I've just, I feel like maybe this is a good moment to apply my energy into something else that I'm good at, which is writing.
Yeah. What do you think about the Zoom shows? Because this is the 22nd show that we've done. We started in mid-April, and at that point, all the comics were like, no, I'm not going to do it. But then we went so long that all the comics were like, all right, you know what? I'll take a Zoom show now. And then
right.
We actually have one club in Sacramento that's opened up outside.
What?
So it's something.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, Zoom shows are hard because I like to have a connection with the audience.
Yeah. I've done a handful of them already, and they just feel like they're fine, and they can be somewhat. They can be fun, but it's just not the same. So for me, it's weird. It's so different and such a like semi-startling adjustment because you have to like change the pacing and sometimes there's a delay, and so you have to kind of tell a joke in a way where you're not telling a joke. It's almost like you got to treat it. I feel like it's almost like you have to treat your jokes like you're telling a story versus telling a joke. If that makes sense. I feel like that has seemed to be the trick to these Zoom shows for me. Whoever's watching this, I just dropped a gem of fucking knowledge on you.
You really did. No, I always wonder if we have any new comics or, sometimes they'll interview drag queens, and some of them just say the most gem-like things of knowledge, and you really just did too. And it's like, people could learn a lot from this show, including me. So thank you for dropping that knowledge.
Yeah. I think we should always be in the mode of wanting to learn. That's how we grow.
Absolutely. So when the world's real and you're doing comedy live, you've been hitting the festival circuit a little bit lately.
I have. I was admittingly on quite a trajectory at the beginning of the year. It was crazy. I just had 3 months of just doing just kind of breaking new ground in the world of stand-up in a way. It was really cool. It was really fun, and I got to travel a lot more than I normally do, and it just happened so fast. It was the first month I went to Vegas, and then I went to Portland, and then I got to do a couple of firsts. I got headlined at a festival, and then I featured for someone, and it was like a blur of just new highs in the world of stand-up. So it was really great. Yeah. And those experiences set me up for a lot of future really big things. And then the pandemic.
But you know what? I think people, it's not going to be like high school or even pro sports where you lose a year of I'd hate to be like a 34-year-old point guard and be damn. This is over. Yeah,
wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was thinking they'll come back to you because you're legitimately talented.
Thank you.
As soon as they, that. And I had Ty on the show, Ty Rivera.
And
we talked about his festival, and that's the one you did in January in Vegas.
Yes.
And then I had
so fun.
I don't know if you know my friend Sydney and my friend Chelsea. But they were in Big Pine, and correct me, you were also in the Big Pine Festival.
I was. Well, I am.
Yeah, right. You are when it happens. So yeah. I had I think 6 friends in that. I was so excited for you all. I was like, you know what? I'm not in it, but I might just come watch.
Yeah. It was. It's interesting. I think it's happening virtually. I'm not entirely sure. I think so. I don't know. But if it's not happening this year, it's definitely happening next year. So I will for sure be a part of Big Pine 2021.
Yeah. Do you? And don't feel like you have to answer this because I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite festival?
Say it again.
Do you have a favorite festival?
Oh, I mean, I've enjoyed all of them for different reasons, but I would have to say one of the most favorite ones I went to would have to definitely be the Northwest Comedy Festival in Portland. And wait, let me correct that. Northwest Black Comedy Festival in Portland. I just, every time I've done it now, 2 years now, I'll be going again next year. It's just every time I go, I've had an amazing time and I've made new connections, and it's just one of the reasons why I've kind of really fell in love with Portland, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect the first year I went up there, and I just ended up having such a memorable time that the second year was even more crazy. So it's that definitely has to be one of my most favorite comedy festivals that I've done.
Very cool. What
shout out to Courtney and Tyrone Collins. I love those guys. They are the creators of that festival.
Right on. People should look them up, because if you like the festival, it must be a good festival.
Yeah, it was really fun.
What makes a good video submission? Let's say we do have some newer comics wanting to submit to festivals. What makes a good video submission?
Video submission. Well, I'm not. Well, for the record, I'm definitely not a booker, guys. But if I had to, based on just from what I know, I would say definitely one that is firing on all cylinders out the cannon. You know, I feel like you want a submission that is like immediately just getting to the nitty gritty of your jokes. You don't want to submit anything that's going to take too long to get to where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? So always avoid, if you're submitting a short set, always avoid submitting a set that takes a while to get to the joke. You know, like you only have between 3 or 5 minutes to leave an impression. So you want to make sure every minute of that shit is just like balls to the wall, fun. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
yeah.
So like the opposite of the Zoom shows, basically.
Basically, the entire opposite of Zoom shows. Yes, you need to have, like, you need to be a relentlessly undeniable set from, and that is coming from like people who I know who have booked for those type of things. Those are the things that they have said to me that I'm now saying to you all.
What makes a good, so that one you did point out that you're not a booker, and I should have asked I should have prefaced,
okay.
I should have said in the question, what makes a good set when you turn one in? So lazy journalism by me. What makes a good festival as a festival comic, a comic who goes to festivals? What do you like at a festival? What makes you say this is a good one?
Just a welcoming energy, a sense of camaraderie between the artist and the producers. What else? Just a mutual respect, things of that nature. Usually festivals that help make sure that you are squared away with lodge and all of that stuff. Places like festivals like that tend to be like standouts for me, because those are festivals that are going out of their way to help ensure that your experience while doing this in wherever city you go to is memorable. Sorry, I'm a little high, you guys. I smoked a little.
No, that's okay. I don't know if you heard, me and Dave and I are both operating on like zero sleep for the last 28 hours.
Yeah,
so
no, I did hear that. Was crazy. I went through several periods of no, I actually sometimes periodically go through periods of insomnia, so I understand.
Yeah, I mean it's its own kind of drug in a way, I've found.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I don't know if I'd recommend any drugs. Just in case who's watching, that's probably the one to do, kids. Stay up late. So back to live comedy, because it is what we miss so much. What's the most? Because you have performed a lot of places. What's the most interesting venue that you've performed?
I would have to say, okay. Oh God, oh man, I can't even remember the name because it was a while ago. Okay, I'll just describe it as best I can. I would say the most interesting venue I've ever done stand-up at would definitely have to be. I did a show in San Francisco about 2.5 years ago, and it was at this place that like looked like this marriage of like it looked like a sushi bar, but with like a dance floor, but also had like this other side that had a bit of a like arcade kind of feel. It looked like the type of place you would like do stand up in like Japan. It was really cool. It was this very unassuming, the booker was a really cool guy, like and I just remember it being the most interesting, visually cool place I'd ever done stand up at, because it was the stage was like in this area where you didn't expect it to be, but it all just like looked so nice. And I remember just God, I wish I knew the name. I can't remember the name.
It'll come back to you as soon as we end the
Yeah,
interview.
it'll circle back.
Yeah.
It'll circle. Sorry, anyone.
No. You'll get it. I'll post it for people.
Yeah.
What's your favorite city for comedy?
Oh man. I would say for me, it has to be a toss between the Bay Area as a whole, or a close second between Portland and San Diego, because those are three places that I've done quite a bit of stand-up at, but also have just been able to do shows that are so different, like completely different locations, completely different audience, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, these are cities that I've done a lot of stand-up in, where I got a chance to really flex my different sets and different jokes, because I was dealing with different audiences. It didn't feel like one show is the same. And so that's what I remember being so cool about those cities.
Okay, again, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, because I'm not trying to make you put anyone on blast. Are there any cities that you're not in a hurry to get back to?
No, not really. I mean, because like the thing is, each city is different. I mean, if you had asked me this question maybe like a few months ago, I probably would have said Arizona, but that was only because I almost caught a felony in Arizona.
Good
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, over weed. So I had a little bit of a like ill feeling about it for a while, but I got over it, and I love the place now. But yeah, that was like a moment where I just didn't like that city.
Yeah, I mean, if you catch the wrong charge in Arizona, it'll be what's that movie?
Not city, it's state. Sorry.
No, that's okay. But I mean, what's that movie where the two girls go to Asia and they end up in jail?
Oh, is that the one with Claire Danes? Where
Yeah,
they
yeah,
go to,
yeah.
like Fiji or something like that.
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know.
I have a reference to make. Jail
Yeah.
movie. This is why I need a Chromebook during my show. I've been Broke Down Palace. I feel like if you get the wrong charge in Arizona, especially as a black man, you could be in Broke Down Palace.
Yeah.
Please
There's
call
a
me if that
possibility.
happens. I will use all of my white lady powers and come down and extract you and tell them that we're gonna deal with you up here and save you. Because I don't want them to catch you in Arizona. I don't want anyone caught. Like, they just make people do work camp and like, I mean, that sheriff is out, but like,
Yeah, no, for real.
awesome. Now my computer's like, here's Amazon. Do you want to buy Broke Down Palace? No, go away. Are there what's the longest? Okay, so you drive when you go to these far off places.
No. I either fly,
Oh, really?
taking a Greyhound. I have a car right
Nice.
now, or I haven't had a car for a minute. So a lot of times, I'm either, if it's far, I'll fly. If it's close enough, I'll take a Greyhound or carpool with another comic, or even in some cases. Well, no, those are usually the instances.
That counts. I mean, a carpool with a comic. That counts for my question.
Yeah.
So what's the longest you've ever gone by car?
14 hours.
Was that to Portland?
Yes, the first year I went to Portland, me and two other comics, we drove.
Any
It was
tips?
about a 13-and-a-half-hour drive.
Yeah. Any tips for any comics wanting to do a 13-hour drive? Snacks, places to stay?
Snacks, water, plenty of gas money. Make sure you're going with comics you can tolerate. I was lucky enough that I did go with two comics who I'm really cool with. But for people who aren't, always make sure that if you're going to go on a long road trip with comics, you know them.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily have to know them incredibly well, but just know them well enough to feel comfortable in a car with them for that long.
Also,
Because that's
it's okay to be have no talking in the car for like.
right. That's
you,
another thing too.
You can't talk
A
for
lot of
13
people-
hours.
Yeah, a lot of people need to learn to be okay sitting in silence. So
Yeah.
you don't need to talk every single waking moment that you're in the car. Like there can be just music. That's why there's music. There's music, there's podcasts, there's the sound of nature as you drive by. You know,
And I say this more at an open micer level. You're certainly not. I am an open micer level, but
no,
I would
not at
say,
all.
well, thank you. I would say don't, if you go with a comic that's a feature or a headliner, and even if you are, you don't need to make jokes the whole time.
No. You don't need to impress them, because the thing that you have to remember is that they brought you along because they thought you were good enough to open for them or be on the same show with them. So you don't have to like be on when you're in the car. You can literally just be the person you are when you're not on stage.
Yeah. If you're not driving, get on your Facebook, write out some jokes.
Yeah.
Don't say them out
exactly.
loud. I think what I just proved is I'm ready to go on a car ride with you. But I like that you fly, so I'll when this show starts making some money, I'll just catch a flight with you somewhere, because I'm an air princess. I am not.
Where are we going?
Yeah, I'm not a rest stop princess.
Oh no.
What do you love about live comedy, or like about it? I'm assuming you love, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah. What do I love about it? I love that sense of connection you feel when you are telling a story or an experience, and people really connect with that. You know, the relatability, that stuff it makes the joke feel so much more grounded in realness and truth. And that's kind of one of my favorite parts about doing stand-up. It's because you get to talk about shit, and somewhere in the audience there's people just like connecting with it enough to where they are laughing and coming along with you for this ride, you know.
Very cool. And anybody that's watching that has not, I mean, anyone that's seen you live should definitely do it again. But when all this is past us and they get the chance to see you live, and if they're in Sacramento, they will, because like I said at the top of the interview, I will be booking you. But they would do themselves a favor.
I had such a fun time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a really fun time up there. It was a lot of fun. You guys made sure I had a very good time. It was very hospitable. I loved it. That was my first time there, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had never been to Sacramento ever before.
Well,
I drove through Sacramento to go to Portland the first time, but
yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
We'll figure out some. We'll link up some other shows. So if you fly up, it's worth it. And you can come to Brunch on Me. You probably heard me tell me, Dave, I'm hosting a brunch now. Actually,
yeah, I love brunch. I am a brunch advocate.
Yeah, been doing it for. I mean, I don't know if COVID counts. Like, like I've been doing comedy for since January of 2017. So do I get to say it's almost 3-4 years, or do I have to take out the last 8 months? Like we've all been Thanos. Like, do these years count or not? But
yeah, I know it's weird. I ask myself that too sometimes. I'm like, does the first half of 2020 even count into my like stand up? But then I realized it does, because I was doing stand up up until early March. So it was like, you know, I guess look at this as non-paid leave.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing that we've and I've had, including yourself, some amazing talented people. Just, I mean,
thank you.
The people that have done this I think other comics at my level, if they watch the show, which they really should, they're probably like, how the I guess we can say fuck. How the fuck is she getting these amazing people? It's like, I don't know. there's just so much you can do. You're limited by your writing, you know, and we're going to talk about another thing behind you in a minute, but like you're only limited by your imagination. You just because miking can't happen right now doesn't mean you're like there's nothing to do. You can still do things. So keep doing them. If you're really if you really want to be creative for a living, this is a hurdle. It's not a roadblock. Jump it.
Exactly.
So let's see. So anyway, I formally will treat you to brunch because we've been doing it now for almost 2 years, and it's the most fantastic drag brunch you'll ever go to.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay. So behind you, there is a graphic for something you're working on. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, yeah. Behind me is a graphic for an adult animated show that I'm working on with my writing partner and fellow comic / best friend. It's essentially about two superheroes who are also roommates because they're broke. And they don't get paid, or they're just due like their white counterparts. And so without giving nothing away, because I want you guys to be surprised by everything, essentially the show just kind of like chronicles their journey to like being recognized and on par with you know, everyone's other beloved DC and Marvel heroes. So the show is essentially a parody of the superhero genre, but within the adult animated world. So it's very, very much not kid friendly.
That's all right. I don't know if we have any kids that watch the show. And if we do,
it's a very like The Boys meets the Boondocks meets Archer, and you know, in terms of like humor, violence, and overall tone.
I can't wait. Where can people find it when it's ready?
Well, you know, when it's married with a network, that is shaping up to be a lot sooner than later. That's what I'll say.
Okay, so we have your information on the screen below you, your Venmo and your Instagram. So if people want to follow you, that's probably a really good place to get an update on when they can see that show. What's the show called? Does it have a title?
Yes, it's called Apartment of Solitude.
I like it. I love comics. I have a drag queen friend, and I've been talking about doing just a show about comic book characters, just a drag queen and a drag princess just talking about heroes. Because I'm Marvel and she's DC. What are you?
I'd have to say more Marvel.
Yeah.
For sure. I grew up with me and my siblings were like very, very into X-Men and Spider-Man and all these other like very well-known Marvel comics.
I was gonna say when you said the superheroes getting paid big money and getting, you know, all the good due, I was like, not Spidey, not comic Spidey.
Yeah.
Movie Spidey for sure, but like comic Spidey,
Yeah.
he's slumming it. So when the project gets a network, it will come out and people can find it. How did the project come about? How did it happen?
Well, originally it was going to be a podcast idea, but we just saw, you know, my writing partner, who's very talented, just kind of like saw a lot more potential in the idea. So we just kind of from that point adapted it and just wrote it and started to get some eyes on it, and it just kind of started to like pick a life of its own. And now it's, you know, it's at a place where it's ready to be presented.
And what's your partner's name? I see it on the screen, but the top part's cut off.
Oh, his name's Niles.
Niles. Okay, cool. Niles. People should check out Niles and your work because it sounds like it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait. honestly.
Yeah, thank you.
What's in future? I mean, obviously this and festivals, and
Yeah.
like you said, you were on like a really amazing trajectory, and I noticed that, and I couldn't be more happy for someone
Thank you.
that deserves
Thank
it.
you,
What
thank you.
what else is in store for the future for you?
Just developing more scripts and stuff with my writing partner, and hopefully, return to a stage sometime soon. But if not, then I'm just gonna continue to focus on, writing scripts and developing things and hopefully selling some shit.
Yeah,
Selling a show or a film script would be great.
I bet you could sell a film. What is there anything that I am not smart enough to ask that you'd like to tell us in the audience?
Well, no, that's no, that's not. You've
Well, I
been
don't know.
perfectly fine.
Sometimes I miss something, and I want to make sure it gets out there.
No, you're completely A-okay.
All right, cool. So the last bit that we have is called rapid fire questions. So Chaz Carter, are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Yes.
Okay, cool. They're fun.
Okay.
I promise. It's good. Okay, so what's your favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
Mimosas.
Yeah, I agree. Although I gotta say, today at my brunch, I went out with it was a slushy Cosmo. Like I just was like, because it was 111 degrees, and your girl was hot, and so I was like, make me a Cosmo in a blender with ice, please. And like 6 people interrupted me, and they were like, "What is it? How do I get it?" And I was like, "It's a Suzette slushy. I don't, or you order it. I don't know." So mimosas are good, but I'm onto something.
Right.
Okay, do you have a favorite LGBTQ activist?
Currently, at the moment, I would have to say Angelica Ross. She is an advocate for Black transgendered LGBTQ folk, and I love how fearless she is and how she's very, very, very big on standing up and making sure that all Black queer people get the help and the protection that they deserve, and that includes trans women.
Absolutely. All right, from a very serious question to a whimsical one, what's your favorite item on the gay agenda?
What's my favorite way?
Item on the gay agenda.
Item or album? I'm sorry.
Item.
Item on the gay agenda. Glitter.
Say it again?
Glitter.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So gay.
Which
Love
do you
it.
think COVID-19 has affected more, the gay dating scene or the straight dating scene?
Definitely the straight dating scene, because I don't feel like gay men or queer folk as a whole, I don't think we all give a fuck. I feel like some of us have still just been actively dating and hooking up.
Yeah, I hear a lot of grinder going off around me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if it's affected us as much.
Yeah,
as
I'm like, Grinder doesn't know there's a
will.
pandemic.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of these hookup apps that are like, what pandemic?
Speaking of the straight people, what's your favorite position to imagine them having sex in?
None, really.
That's fair.
I was like, I can't say that
Fair enough. If you were performing tonight live with an audience, what would your walk-up scene be? Your walk-up song.
Walk-up song? Probably May I by Flo Milli.
Okay. I like that answer.
I love her.
What is
love
your
her.
favorite recurring show to perform in?
Recurring show?
Recurring show?
So at the San Diego Madhouse, before everything went to shit, they have a weekend Saturday show on their main stage. It's the 10 o'clock show. That is a show I did numerous times, and that was probably, it's just one of the funniest shows or funnest shows I've ever done.
What's it called?
Because they always, it's just at the Madhouse. It's I can't think of the name of the damn show. Jesus. Oh no.
It's COVID brain.
Yeah. COVID brain. They have a show. It's every week. It's on the main room. It's at 10. They always bring out like a giant fucking crowd. Everyone's crazy. The energy is live. I have so much fun every time I go.
I want to do it. What is your favorite venue to perform in?
Maybe I would say it's a toss-up between the main stage at the Madhouse and also, well, I don't know, Sacramento. The Punchline on that stage was really fun.
Right on.
Yeah. That was a really awesome big stage too.
What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
I didn't know you were gay.
Like,
yeah.
I guess you didn't have the sign above your head.
Right.
Who's your favorite comic?
My favorite comic? I have a lot of favorite comics, but if I had to pick my favorite comic at the moment, would have to be Sam J is my favorite comic. She's a Black queer woman and incredible comedian. She just released a special on Netflix. It's incredible. She's so funny, like hilarious. Definitely go check it out.
Yeah, she's amazing, and I was bummed because I actually talked to her in person about doing my show in July here in Sacramento, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I don't know, she seemed interested, and then COVID. Okay, so I asked earlier your favorite sex position to imagine straight people. Do you want to disclose what your favorite sex position is?
Oh Lord, no, because I'm very seasonal about it. It just changes. It changes for me based on the individual.
Based on what you just said, I'm gonna say my favorite sex position is a special on Netflix. That would be, I would enjoy that if that ever happened for me. Do you cook or bake?
Bake, light cooking.
You like cooking?
Light cooking, like easy cooking. I'm not much of a cook, but I do like to bake things.
Oh, okay. I think it's so interesting when creative people like to bake, because I like to bake, and a lot of people say
I
that.
love baking, like just throwing or putting together some easy tray of cookies or some shit like that, or muffins or something.
Let's see. If we're at a bar, like you come up to Sacramento and we hang out and we go to a bar, what shots are we letting people buy us?
A lemon drop, a Jaeger shot, and a dark whiskey.
I like the way you shoot. If we're letting people buy us drinks, what are they going to buy us?
An old fashioned or a whiskey ginger is always my go-to. I drink like a dad who's been divorced. Like I like this.
Okay. But what kind of whiskey? That's the important part.
Let's say maybe Maker's Mark is a really good like starter whiskey. starter whiskey. Notice I said starter because you can always climb higher.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good starter though. That's a good place to enter. This one's very important. Toilet paper.
Okay.
Over or under?
Over.
Yes. Oh my God, I love you. You know what's funny is I ask that question to every guest, and I don't get as mad when people say under as I do when they say, what? I don't have a preference.
Ew, what?
What? How do you not have a preference? Like,
Yeah.
you just go either
for me,
way.
Because under just sounds like it's like you just created. It's more difficult to take toilet tissue off when it's like under.
Yeah, but I mean, look, like I said, you can be an under, you can be an over. Just don't be a toilet paper verse, because I don't understand you. Like,
yeah, like, what's wrong with you?
I don't know how much of my audience got that. So a verse is when someone goes top or bottom. So, let's see. Do you have a favorite drag queen?
At the moment, I would have to say the most recent winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. I adore Jada Essence Hall. Oh my God. She's just stunning, and her looks online, because I follow her online as well, and her looks that she posts online are always just so impeccable. She's just, I want us to be friends.
I think you could probably reach out and make friends at this point.
Yes.
I think you're there. Do you have a favorite drag king?
I can't say that I know any immediately, to be completely honest.
Okay, I'll make sure that we see some next time.
Yes,
we're up
please
in Northern
do,
California.
please.
There's some great ones.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Do you think I'm pretty?
Yes, girl.
Thank you. Okay, I just asked that one for fun for me. The last question is, if this was over, what are you, like the pandemic, not the interview, but once the pandemic is over, everything's lifted, we go to our new normal or our old normal or whatever the normal is. What are you most excited to do?
Not wear a mask. I'm tired of wearing these goddamn masks. I'm over it.
I had my bandana for after, because I can perform my brunch. We're okay with the city as long as we say 6 to 8 people from the patrons. But then afterward, I have to put the bandana on, and I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin this beat. Don't make me ruin the beat. That's it, Chaz. That's all I got.
Oh my God! Thank you. That was so fun. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I loved all of it. These are some very cool, interesting questions. So thank you.
No, thank you. I have a lot of fun, and
thank you.
I can't wait to do some more shows with you and hang out.
Yes.
And show you so Punchline's fun, and then this theater Stab is a blast, and we'll catch some good drag and some brunch.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah, I'm already down. I'm there.
End pandemic, end.
Yeah, seriously.
Other than that, people can follow you on the information below you. They can send some tips. Be warned, we don't have the kind of audience that does, but we put it there in case they do. Because hopefully they do, because we're all out of work, kind of. So thanks again for coming on, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, peers and queers, bees and booze. That was Chaz Carter, and you should follow him, just like everyone else. I'm not bringing anyone on that you shouldn't, because they're all amazing, and he is certainly amazing for so many reasons. So check him out, look him up, follow him, and support, because you will be glad that you listened to me on this one. And unless you already know him, and then what am I... I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Anyhow, let's go with our usual last contributor of the show, comic, producer, actor. I don't know what he's doing anymore. I haven't seen him do anything in the pandemic except this show, and he doesn't even do that much for this show. Ladies and gentlemen, peers and queers, bees and booze, David Shapiro. David, are you there?
Hey, Suze.
Hey, oh, you're quiet.
Yeah, I'm in the Roseville Galleria.
Oh,
They're currently shutting down. Thought I'd be home by now, but I thought I'd just catch up with the segment here. So I have a mask on because it's required in public. For the most part, people are kind of staying distant.
okay.
So some stores are open, some stores are closed. Some stores weren't open at all, some stores closed early. It's interesting to be in a space that's usually full of people. I talked to my friend that works at the mall, and they were pretty much closed and dead last night on a Saturday. So things are not back to normal. Wish they were, but they're not. A lot of people are covering their faces though, so that's good.
What about groups? Are
know.
people staying apart, or like do you see large
People are
groups
doing the best they
congregating?
can.
Right. Groups though, are they staying together? Are they congregating? How are people doing like the 6 or more thing?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, people, it seems like, are staying spread out. They're not like hanging out in groups. They have the place shut down, and yeah. Like
Okay.
I said, there's a lot that just is shut down right now. A lot of places shut early.
Now, I'm looking at where you are, and I see, because I love Forever 21, I know exactly where you are. You're by the children's play place. Are they allowing the
Yeah,
children
no,
to...
the play place is completely roped off. Here, let me get a shot.
Oh, wow, that's sad looking.
Like, they don't want anybody on that. So, the restaurants here have outdoor seating, like everywhere right now. So they're making a little bit of money, and some of the stores are doing curbside. They just send an employee out.
That's good.
Yep.
Well, David, you probably shouldn't be out, but it does look very sparse, and it looks like you're staying away from people. So keep being careful.
Well, be careful, be safe, and I guess I gave you on-site reporting. I'm like a reporter now.
No, you're not a reporter now. No.
No?
No.
Oh. All right. Well, felt like I was a reporter
No.
doing like on scene. No.
No, you're not a
Okay.
reporter. Yeah, just be
Will do.
safe, because I rely on your safety.
Take care and be safe, and talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks,
Okay,
David.
bye.
Also, whatever app you were using for that footage, don't do it again. It didn't look very good. Anyhow, that's the show. And next week on the 13th, we'll have a new show. 5:03 should be a fully stocked show with Chelsea and Clifton. Chelsea, I painted my nails for you, and you didn't even show up. Thank you so much to local pandemic hero, Jesse Jones. And we'll see you next week at 5:03.
The city's your playground. I watch you take a bite. At 5 a.m. roaming the streets, drunk all night. You think you're hot shit, and ooh, I love it.